So this woman asked a question in the relationship advice subreddit. She's 26 and he's 40. So the age gap situation is already kind of puzzling. But this question that she says, my husband insults the homeless slash poor, knowing that used to be me. He says I'm overthinking it completely. She says we've been together for 3 years now. We come from two different worlds, but for the most part, we're a good match and we have fun together. He says the comments don't apply to me, but I think they do. First off, just to explain how poor I was growing up. My mom was terminally ill pretty much my entire life. After she passed, my dad stopped talking to me and my brother. At 16, I moved into my car. After years of on and off homelessness and crappy jobs, I started working as a waitress at a pretty nice restaurant and was able to rent a crappy room. This to me was absolute luxury, having my own room. LOL. I met him at like midnight walking home from work. He saw me and was concerned about me, wanted to help me. So I gave in and let him drive me home. I ended up agreeing to go out with him, but I was in a lot of debt and obviously struggling. He was not judgmental at all. He helped me get out of it. I moved into his home. We obviously ended up engaged. He is truly an amazing guy, but I don't understand how he differentiates me from others in the same scenario. We have a good life now. I'm a housewife, which for someone like me, after years of chaos, is extremely peaceful and amazing. He works in law. We're planning on having a baby soon, so this isn't something I want to leave him over. It's more that I'm looking for help on how to better communicate with him. He knows everything and he knows I was homeless, but he'll say things about homeless people being dirty or needing to get off their butts and work right in front of me. But he literally was the one that pulled me out of that. I could have very well and probably would have ended back up in that situation. I asked him what is different about me and the homeless man he was talking about, and he laughed and said it wasn't even comparable, so no real explanation. We were laying in bed the other night and talking about the cost of living in our area, and he made a joke and liked it and hoped it continue to go up because he doesn't want the people who can't afford it in his neighborhood. And I was like, "Okay, but that is me." And he says it's not because it's not anymore. But he's still basically saying in my mind that if I were single and still in a bad situation, I'm right there with the people he's insulting. There was also another time we were shopping on Rodeo Drive and some guy was asking me for money for coffee. And I was trying to find my wallet and he pulled me away. He did actually give this guy money, but he was pissed I was talking to him and said if he wants money, he can get a job. And also said it's dangerous for me to talk to them. But as someone who lived it, I know most of these people are good people. I understand using caution, but genuinely most are good. He literally let me in the car the first night we met. He thought I was homeless and wasn't scared of me. He says I'm thinking way too much and it has nothing to do with me, but I just can't help but think, what did you truly think of me when we met? There are so many red flags in this one story. The power dynamics and imbalance for this woman is off the chain. But we see how this young lady got here. She got to a point of being impoverished because after her mother died, her dad kicked her out. So she had no place to go. So when people are desperate or in survival mode, they make decisions that they might not make. When somebody is financially independent or has a good career, they might not make these same decisions. This woman is not going to leave this man because she doesn't want to go back to being homeless. But she can't get out of her brain because she knows how her husband feels. And yes, this is her husband. Some people in the comments were a little confused, like, how are you a housewife? And she does acknowledge that, yes, she is married. But the power imbalance of a 26-year-old and a 40-year-old. A lot of the times these men will pluck up somebody. They say these things all the time. I would rather have a waitress who doesn't have much money. They say this all the time because they would rather have these power imbalances because this man knows that this woman doesn't really have any place to go. And then he works in law, and she was a waitress, but now she's a housewife. She's a housewife without kids. So just as soon as she has a kid, she's going to be kind of baby trapped. And she won't be able to go anywhere, even if she wanted to, because she has no support system. Because the dad, right here, after my mom, no, my mom was terminally ill pretty much my entire life. After she passed, my dad stopped talking to me and my brother. So she has no support system, and he knows that. And so she's getting it in her brain that she has absolutely no place to go. The reason why I'm doing this is to remind us all the reasons why it's so important to have a financial footing. She's asking this question in the relationship advice subreddit, but she's not really planning on leaving, even though people are like, dude, your boyfriend, your husband is an a-hole. And he absolutely is. And he's putting it in her brain that, look, this is what I think of you, but he's trying to word it in a way like, I don't even know. He's not even wording it in a way that makes it so she is comfortable or anything. He's just outright saying that these people are gross and you're not one of those people because I rescued you. Accidental Scientist says it only doesn't apply to you because he's attracted to you and likes you. But if that went away, it would 100% apply to you. And she needs to know that she is a disposable person, but she doesn't know that. Or even if she does know that, she doesn't have very many options because probably at this juncture in life, she couldn't just go out and get a job because he would assert dominance over her. But she's married to some person that is in law, so she probably doesn't have any options. I honestly do not think that this woman is setting herself up for anything good. If she has a baby with this person, she is going to feel trapped forever and ever. And that is what Ladybug is saying, which is why it worries me that she's 100% okay with being a stay-at-home wife for him. He knows he could make her homeless in a minute, and I think he likes having that power. And all his helping her, and I'm putting helping her in quotes, he doesn't see any, don't see any mention of him encouraging her to go back to school or getting a career of her own. Because if she had some education under her, that would mean that she had something to fall back on. If she had a career on her own, then that means that she would have some kind of financial independence. When you have financial independence, you won't be living in your car. But if you have no money, then you could very well be living in your car or on the street or like doing whatever you have to do to survive. And that means servicing that, like there's an unwritten rule. There's an unwritten rule that he controls everything and she will do whatever it has to be done to make sure she stays in his good graces. He knows that, and I'm sure she knows that as well. Accidental Scientist says this is so important, way more important than my comment. Thank you for pointing that out. If he cared, he'd encourage her to put herself in a position where being homeless won't happen again. But he didn't. She's a housewife. She's being set back. Ladybug says not even a housewife since they're not married yet, but this is where she comes in and corrects her. Here's the OP saying, we are married. I don't know why so many comments are saying this. LOL. I wasn't a housewife until we were legally married. I stayed at the restaurant until then. He owns a law firm, so I trusted he knew what he was doing. However, I did have another lawyer look at it. One of my friends wanted me to, so she took me. So, and then other people are like this accidental science. Even still, get your own career. Don't rely on him. He isn't a safe person. Like I said, if he loses attraction or wants someone else, you'll be seen in the same situation he sees others in your situation. Protect your potential future self because he is not a safe person to rely on. Now, the reason why I'm not particularly honing in on this woman is because she's not going to leave. She's in the comments kind of defending her. She's coming in asking for relationship advice. This is the relationship advice subreddit, but I'm using this as kind of a cautionary tale to not put all of your eggs in one basket because it's not safe. She can't leave. This woman's not going to leave because she doesn't have any place to go. but I want us to protect ourselves and get a career and all of that. Like Greenbeard says, I love these posts where they complain about their partner being a terrible person, then vehemently defend them in the comments when people point out the multitude of red flags. All the things you're saying he does that make you happy are all related to him flexing his money, taking you to Japan to propose, taking you shopping on Rodeo Drive. Does he do anything nice that doesn't involve him throwing money at something? He went after you, a much younger woman, when you were in a very vulnerable place in your life, proceeded to love bomb you with money, gifts, and trips. Now he expects you to be a stay-at-home mom who is fully reliant on his income. If you understand all of this and still want that, you do you, but you can't expect to post something like this and not expect the reaction this is getting. Your husband is the worst. And here's the OP. This is the reason why I said I know she's not going to leave in particular, saying, I talked about lots of nice things he does that don't involve money. This woman's not going to leave. She doesn't want to give up that and go back to renting a room. And so you can completely understand that, but you can also see how this young lady is very vulnerable in this situation. Another comment is saying, I'm not ignoring any advice. I'm reading it and considering it all. I'm not going to leave him because of strangers, but I have read good advice and gotten more understanding of where he might be coming from. This person says, I'm not trying to be rude. I have just been where you are and I'm concerned for you. Even if I'm a stranger, I think that is where everyone is coming from. And so that's where people are trying to show her that this isn't safe, but she's not or cannot leave. But this is the reason why this is a cautionary tale and why I'm addressing it like I am, because I want women to be stable financially, have a career, have their education, so they can survive and thrive regardless of marital situations. So go ahead, join the conversation. Let me know what you think of all of this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.